Ember Station was dying. Red lights flashed. Sirens screamed. The metal floor shook from deep explosions. Smoke filled the narrow corridor. Somewhere under Mira Kane's boots, the reactor was out of control and tearing the station apart. Everyone else ran toward the escape pods. Mira ran the other way. People pushed past her, shouting and crying. A man fell, a child screamed. No one stopped, no one helped. Fear pulled them towards safety like a strong hand. Mira pushed against that hand and kept moving forward. Her black security armor scratched and her left arm bloody, her rifle tight in her grip. The station's AI voice echoed from the broken speakers. Warning. Hull breach in Sector 7. Reactor core unstable. All personnel evacuate immediately. Mira ignored the words. She had one job left, and it was not to save herself. She reached the research wing. The door to Lab 3A was bent and black at the edges. She kicked it once. It hissed open just enough for her to slip inside. The lab looked like a war zone. Glass tanks were shattered. Tables lay on their sides. Screens flickered and died. 2 guards in station uniforms lay still on the floor. The smell of burnt plastic and hot metal filled the air. Mira lifted her rifle and moved between the tables, boots crunching on glass. Then she heard it, a small sound, a weak, shaking cry from the far corner of the lab. She followed it. The cry grew a little louder, like a scared child trying to be brave. At the wall, a metal table had fallen over. Under it, something glowed softly, blue and green. Mira knelt and lifted the edge of the table. The dragon hatchling stared up at her. It was no longer than her forearm. Tiny scales covered its body, shining like wet stars. 2 soft wings wrapped around itself. Its thin tail shook. Its wide eyes were bright with fear. It tried to breathe fire, but only a few sparks and a small cough came out. The galaxy called its kind star dragons. As adults, they could burn fleets and drink the light of suns, but this one was just a baby. Mira did not see a weapon. She saw a child. "Hey," she said softly, "it's okay. I've got you." The hatchling pressed itself tighter against the floor. The AI voice spoke again. "Faster now. Warning. Reactor core meltdown in 4 minutes. All personnel evacuate." Her earpiece hissed. "Kane, this is Commander Yarrow report. Did you secure the specimen?" Mira looked at the baby dragon. "Yes, I found it." "Good. Leave it. Get to the pods. That's in order. The warlord's ships are almost on you. Ember Station is lost." She stared at the hatchling. Its claws scratched weakly at the floor as it tried to hide from the noise and shaking. There was no hate in its eyes, only fear. "Leave it." The word felt like ice in her chest. The hatchling had never chosen to be rare, or dangerous, or hunted. It had not chosen any of this. Mira pulled off her burned jacket and wrapped it around the hatchling. It flinched at first, then relaxed a little and pressed against her chest. She felt its small, wild heartbeat. "Order received," she said into her earpiece. Then she turned the earpiece off. It would be easy to run to the pods now. Easy to save herself. Easy to say later, "I followed orders." But easy choices had never built the human race. Mira stood up, the hatchling in her arms, and turned toward the door. That was when it exploded. A blast of fire and smoke through her back. She hit the floor hard. For a moment her ears heard nothing but a high, sharp ringing sound. Dust and sparks filled the air. Shapes walked through the smoke. They were not station guards. 6 mercenaries stepped into the broken lab. They wore black armor marked with a red symbol on the chest, a broken star held in a metal claw. The sign of the Varax's Dominion, the most feared warlord in this part of the galaxy. The leader stopped in the center of the room. His helmet opened with a hiss. His gray face was smooth and cold. His eyes went straight to the bundle in Mira's arms. "Human," he said in a calm, low voice. "Hand over the dragon hatchling. Do that, and I may let you die quickly." Mira pushed herself to her feet, using the wall for support. Pain burned in her side. The hatchling shook in her arms. She moved 1 step so that her body fully stood between the mercenaries and the baby.
"No,"
she said. One short word, but it felt heavier than all the metal in the room. The leader tilted his head. "Do you understand what you are holding? That creature is a starkiller, a threat to every world in this sector." Mira's fingers tightened around the bundle. "Then it should grow up with someone who knows what life is worth." For 1 heartbeat, nobody moved. Then the lab exploded into action. The mercenaries raised their rifles. Mira dropped behind an overturned table and fired first. Blue bolts of energy lit the dark. Glass burst. Sparks rained from the ceiling. She shot out the lights. Darkness fell over the lab, broken only by gunfire flashes and the soft glow from the hatchling's scales. Mira moved low and fast. Using the shadows, 1 mercenary fell with a shout as her shot hit his leg. Another slid across the floor when she slammed an emergency gravity switch, but there were too many of them. A shot hit her in the side. Fire tore through her ribs. Her breath caught. Her movements slowed. The hatchling felt her pain. Its small body went stiff. Its eyes glowed brighter, like tiny suns. For a brief moment, a wave of invisible force burst out from it. The air shook, metal groaned. 3 mercenaries flew backward and crashed into the walls. Their guns flew from their hands, everyone froze. The baby dragon looked up at Mira, confused and afraid of its own power. The leader stared at them, then smiled slowly. "So," he said, "now I see why my master wants you both." The station's AI voice cut through the silence. "Warning. Reactor core meltdown in 3 minutes. All personnel evacuate." Mira's heart pounded. She was outnumbered. She was hurt. The station was dying, and in her arms, the galaxy's most wanted child had just shown a hint of power. She tightened her hold on the hatchling. Running was no longer an option. Protecting the dragon was all that was left, and she was not done yet. Assignment for you 1. Read this part 1 out loud as if you were narrating a YouTube video. 2.3. Mark with a pen or highlight 4.13. Places where you can add sound effects: explosion, alarm, baby cry, closing parenthesis. 2.3.3. Places where you can pause for 1 to 2 seconds to build suspense. 4.5. Decide the exact moment where you will cut part 1 and show your channel name logo. 6. If you want. Next, I can write part 2. The dragon host awakens in the same simple style, and then help you break all 3 parts into proper YouTube script format with timing and pauses. What you should learn next and why. There was no sound. No fire. No station. No metal floor under her boots. Mira Kane hung in black space. Not real space. Not with stars and planets. This was deeper. This was a place with nothing in it. She tried to move her hands. There were no hands. She tried to breathe. There was no air. She remembered the last moments on Ember Station, the burning lab, the hatchling in her arms, the escape pod shooting away, the mercenaries' guns, the white wall of fire rushing toward her. She had died. She was sure of it. In the dark, she heard a sound. A heartbeat. Thump. Then another heartbeat, deeper and stronger than the first. Thump. 2 hearts, 2 rhythms, one inside the other. A small voice cried out in the dark, not in her ears, in her mind. Scared. Mira did not know if she spoke back, or only thought the word Mito. The blackness cracked. Light poured in. Mira opened her eyes. A hard, white ceiling stared down at her. Clean. Bright. Too bright. Her vision blurred, then slowly sharpened. She saw soft white light set in smooth panels. No smoke, no alarms. Number red warning lights. Her body felt heavy, like she had slept for years. She had tried to move. Restraints held her arms and legs to a table. Thin metal bands, tight but not painful. A soft hum filled the room. Machines, life support screens, and behind the walls, very faint, she heard something new. Heartbeats, not just her own. Many hearts. Slow, fast, calm, / nervous. They sounded like drums in another room. She could tell there were at least 3 people nearby even without seeing them. How she blinked again. A mirror paneled across the room showed a figure on the table. Human, woman, short black hair, strong shoulders, scar on the right eyebrow. Mira, but not exactly Mira. Her skin looked different. In the bright light it seemed normal, but in the shadow lines it had a faint silver shine. Along her neck and down her arms, tiny scales glowed dim blue, like dust from broken stars. Her eyes, reflected in the glass, held a thin ring of light. Around the dark center. Human. And something else. Passion is awake, a voice said. The door slid open with a soft hiss. 2 figures in white lab suits stepped in. One was a tall alien with pale gray skin and 4 black eyes. The other was a human woman with tired brown eyes and a thin medical mask on her face. They stopped when they saw Mira watching them. "She's conscious earlier than expected," the alien said. His voice was smooth, but there was a tightness in it. The human doctor stepped closer. "Mira Kane. Can you hear me?" Mira swallowed. Her throat felt dry, but her voice worked. "Yes," she said. "Where am I?" "In a secure medical facility," the doctor said. "You were brought here from the debris field of Ember Station. You were in a unique state." That was a strange word to use for dead. "What happened?" Mira asked. "The station, the hatchling." She remembered the tiny body in her arms, the small wings, the bright, afraid eyes. Cold fear stabbed through her. "Is the hatchling alive?" she asked. The human doctor and the alien scientist shared a look. "In a way," the alien said slowly. "Yes." A soft heat moved in Mira's chest. 2 heartbeats, 1 beat, then the second, just behind it. Thump, thump. The small voice in her mind shivered again. "Scared," it whispered. Mira's fingers twitched against the metal bands. "What did you do to me?" she said. The alien picked up a tablet and tapped it. A hologram appeared over Mira's body. It showed a human shape, but with a second glowing cluster inside the chest, wrapped around the first heart like wings. "When Ember Station exploded," he said, "the Star Dragon hatchling released a burst of energy. At the same moment, the station's emergency system scanned your brain pattern for a possible revival. Both signals fused. The dragon's energy wrapped your mind as a shield. The doctor took over the explanation, speaking more gently. Your human body was gone, she said, but your mind was not. The hatchling's power held it to eat. Grew a new body, a host body, your DNA and the dragon's energy together. The alien nodded. You are now a bonded pair, human and star dragon, in one form. The first of its kind, a dragon host. Mira stared at the glowing hologram of her chest. 2 hearts, one wrapped in light. So I'm a cage, she said. For a child? No, the small voice in her mind whispered. Not cage. Warmth spread through her veins, like hot tea in winter. The feeling came from both inside her and from some other place. No cage, the voice said again, stronger. Now, home. A tiny image floated into her mind, her own arms in the burning lab, wrapping a jacket around a shaking body. The hatchling remembered too. The alien scientist's voice cut through the moment. You are not a cage, he said. You are a weapon. With you, we can end the warlord's control of the dragons, or, his lower eyes narrowed, or the warlord can use you to rule this whole sector. The word weapon hit her like a slap. Mira pulled at the metal bands. Flames licked at her skin where the straps touched. The metal began to glow, red. The doctor stepped back, eyes wide. She's overheating the restraints. Mira took a deep breath. The fire died back, but the metal stayed dark and soft. She was stronger now, much stronger. The door opened again. A third figure entered, wearing dark armor with no symbols, only a small silver badge on the chest. Council armor. He did not walk like a guard. He walked like someone who owned the room. How is our asset? He asked. Asset, not patient, not person. Mira stayed silent and watched. Stable, the alien said, but we must be careful. Her power is growing. The dragon part learns fast. The armored man nodded. Good, your work is impressive. The council is pleased. But there is a problem. He tapped his wrist. A small screen lit up. Mira could just see a few words, reflected in the glass wall. Protocol, Black Dawn. Target, Earth. Status, armed, on hold. Her blood turned cold. The warlord is furious, the man said. He lost the hatchling. He lost his chance to take control of it. If our project fails, he will not just come for this station. He will go for the human homeworld. We need a way to keep him calm. He looked down at Mira as if she were a tool, on a table. So, he said, we will show him that we hold something better than one baby dragon. We hold the galaxy's first dragon host. If Earth refuses to cooperate, if humans become a threat, if she breaks our control. He smiled, thin and sharp. Black Dawn is only one touch away. Mira did not move. She did not speak. But inside, something woke up. The hatchling's voice rose in her mind. Not scared now, but angry. Burn him, it said. Mira almost laughed. A low, dark sound burned in her chest instead. No, she told the little voice. Not yet. She let her eyes close halfway, pretending to be weak, confused, tired. She listened as the three of them talked over her, thinking she was just a body on a bed. They spoke about tests, about control, about pain levels and power limits, about how far they could push her before the dragons. Mind took over. They were not saving her, they were building a leash. Mira made a quiet promise to herself. She would break the leash. She would break this station if she had to. But she would not let Protocol Black Dawn fall on Earth. She would not let the warlord, or the council, or anyone else use her people as a warning sign. She had died once to save one child. She would not let millions die because of her. The restraints cooled around her arms. The doctor turned away to adjust a machine. The alien bent over the tablet. The armored man stepped closer to the glass wall to answer a call. 3 hearts nearby, one nervous, one calm, one proud. Mira opened her eyes fully. The metal band around her right wrist glowed again. This time, she did not try to stop it. A soft crack sounded as the metal split. The dragon host was waking up and the galaxy had no idea what was coming. Assignment for you? Pick one moment from part 2 that felt the most powerful to you. 2.1. Example. 2 heartbeats, not cage. Home. 2.3. Or the first time she melts the restraints for .3. Right 2.3. Simple lines that you would speak slowly in your YouTube narration at that moment. With pauses. 4.5. Think about thumbnail ideas for part 2. 6.1.1/2. Mira's human face. 2.3.1/2. Glowing dragon eye. 4.5. Text. She woke up different. 6. Share your lines with me, and I'll refine them to sound more dramatic and YouTube ready. What you should learn next and why. They called her the most dangerous being in the galaxy spore. They even saw what she could do. Space above Earth was crowded. Ships from 100 worlds floated at the edge of the system. Some came to watch, some came to fight, some came just to Make sure that, if the dragon host lost control, they would not die alone. In the middle of that slowly tightening ring, one small ship moved like a shadow. Inside it, Mira Kane stood at the front window and looked at her homeworld. Blue and white, clouds like soft hands, city lights hidden behind sunlight. She had died once far from Earth. She would not let Earth die far from her in her chest. Two hearts beat in the same rhythm. Thump, thump. You are quiet, Mira said in a soft voice. Inside her mind, the hatchling answered it was not really a baby anymore. Its mind felt bigger, brighter, more awake. Listening, it said, many hearts. Miniguns. Much fear Mira could feel in two now. Fear like cold fog over the fleets. Anger like red sparks. Excitement. Hate. A few rare points of hope. Her small ships come crackled. A human voice came through. Unidentified vessel. You are entering restricted space. Identify yourself or turn back. Mira smiled a little. This is Mira Kane, she said. Former security officer of Ember Station. Current problem for half the galaxy. There was a long silence on the line. Then another voice came through. Older, rough. Familiar. Mira. This is Captain Rowe. Ember Station's captain. The man who had once shouted orders while the walls fell around them. She had thought he was dead. You made it, she said. So did you, he answered. In a different way, it seems. His image appeared on the ship's small screen. He looked more tired, more gray, but his eyes were the same. The council, he says, you are a threat, he said. The warlord says you are a weapon. Half of Earth believes him, half does not. I am not sure what I believe. Mira looked at the planet again. I died holding a child, she said. That part is still true. Inside her chest, the hatchling stirred and pushed a warm feeling into her words. Rowe watched her for a moment. Wait, I picked up a signal from your facility, he said. We know about Protocol Black Dawn. We know that if you lose control, they will burn our orbit and call it security. The council is scared, Mira said. The warlord is angry. Fear and anger are a bad mix. Then tell me one thing, Rowe said. Right now, with all this power in you, are you still on our side? Mira did not answer with fancy words. She just pressed her hand to the window, fingers spread over the curve of Earth below. Yes, she said simply. Rowe closed his eyes for a second. When he opened them, his face was set. Then I will take the risk, he said. Human fleet will not fire on you. We will stand down shields. We will trust you once. He nodded. Do something good with that trust, Mira, because every other gun out there is pointed at you. He was right. On the far side of the system, the warlord's fleet moved into position. Black ships with broken star symbols. Heavy guns swung toward the small ship that held the dragon host near them. The council's pale ships formed a second line. Their leaders thought they were clever. They planned to let the warlord attack first, then blame him for whatever horror followed. In a silent chamber inside the council flagship, a single console waited. A small red symbol glowed on it. Black Dawn. Ready, one touch, and a cloud of deadly machines would fall on Earth's orbit. Any sign that Mira was out of control, and they would press it. They were not here to support Earth. They were here to control the story. Mira knew all of this. The hatchling's mind stretched through space, following signals and whispers like a spider follows threads. It showed her images in small flashes. A warlord in dark armor, smiling as he watched the fleet's council members, nervous in rich robes. A shaking hand hovering above the Black Dawn switch. So many liars, the hatchling said. So many small hearts. Mira almost laughed. Well, Kay, she told it. Two politics, her ship's engines cut out. She stepped away from the controls. We fly? The hatchling asked. No, Mira said. We walk. She opened the airlock. Any normal? Human would have died in 1 second. Mira did not. She stepped out into vacuum, and space wrapped around her like cold water. Her new body shivered once, then lit up. Flames did not burn from her skin. Light did. Gentle at first, then brighter, like a small star unfolding. Fine lines of energy spread out from her back, like wings made of glass and lightning. From a distance, she looked like a tiny glowing point between Earth and the gathered fleets. From close-up, she looked like a woman walking on nothing, eyes full of twin suns. Every gun turned toward her. Every voice on every ship fell silent. The warlord spoke first, his image opening on 100 bridges. Dragon host, he said. Bow, and I will spare your homeworld. Resist, and I will feed its ashes to your dragons. The hatchling hissed inside her mind. The lights around her flickered harder. Easy, Mira said quietly. We don't start with fire. She raised her head and looked straight at the warlord's nearest ship. When they fired, she was ready. The first shot was a beam thick as a city tower. It rushed toward her, bright enough to blind every camera. Mira lifted one hand, space twisted. The beam bent like a river hitting an invisible wall. It curved around her body and shot upward, vanishing into dark. The warlord fired again. Missiles this time. A whole swarm. Mira stepped forward. Each step bent the space around her a little more. The missiles slowed as if flying through heavy oil. Their engines screamed. Their paths twisted. She flicked her fingers. The missiles gently turned and flew back toward the warlord's own fleet. Explosions blossomed between his ships, not enough to kill them all. Enough to shock him. Mira could have crushed those ships with a thought. She did not. She cut their engines instead. She turned off their guns. She wrapped them in soft gravity like netting, holding them still. She plays, the hatchling said, almost amused, like a big cat with many mice. Mira smiled. Not play, she said. Lesson. The council ships watched in cold fear. On their command deck, a woman in rich blue robes shook her head. She cannot be allowed to hold such power, she said. If she turns on us, we are finished. Activate Black Dawn. Her hand moved to press the red symbol. Mira felt it. She felt the intention before the touch. Now she whispered. The hatchling's mind exploded outward. Time seemed to slow. Tiny machines, hidden in deep space, woke up and began to move toward Earth's orbit. Black Dawn was starting. Mira reached out with everything she had. Heat, light, gravity. Will the sky between Earth and the attacking cloud turned white? To watchers on the ships, it looked like a new sun had opened for one long second. The Black Dawn cloud never reached orbit. Each tiny machine melted into dust and harmless heat. The warlord stared in shock. The council stared in fear. Earth watched in stunned silence. Mira floated between them all, wrapped in light. She was breathing hard now. That move had cost her. Power hummed in her bones like hot iron. The hatchling's mind buzzed with strange, new patterns. That was close, it said. Yes, Mira agreed. Let's not do that too often. On the council ship, the woman in blue stared at her dead console. The red symbol was gone. We had a deal. The warlord roared at her over. Comes, you said you could control her. She looked pale. No one can control that, she whispered. Mira's voice entered their channels, calm and clear. You keep using the wrong word, she said. I am not a weapon you can point. I am a person who chooses. She turned slowly, so that every camera, every screen, every eye could see her face. I choose this, she said. No more dragon experiments. No more secret safety plans to kill whole worlds. No more using Earth as an example. The warlord snarled. You do not speak. Boo for the galaxy. Maybe not, Mira said, but I speak for myself, and for the dragons inside your labs. She opened her hands, far away, in dark stations and secret cages. Other hatchlings felt her call. Locks failed. Glass cracked. Glass cracked. Doors opened. Little wings beat for the first time in open air. The warlord's power was built on chains. Mira's power was built on breaking them. After that, no one fired. Not because they could not. Because no one wanted to be the first ship to test the patience of the dragon host who had just stopped a war, broken a warlord, and eaten a doomsday weapon in one day. Talks began, slowly, carefully, with many fears. But they began. A new pact was written. No more dragon hunting. No more Black Dawn hidden above any world. Humans would have a voice in the council, and the dragon hosts would watch them all. Sometime later, on a quiet moon with soft blue rocks, Mira sat on a low hill. 3 young star dragons played in the thin air, wings flashing, tails drawing bright lines in the sky. The hatchling inside her was not really a baby now. It had grown along with her. It liked to guide the smaller ones, showing them how to fly, without lighting nearby rocks on fire. You could rule them all, the hatchling said one evening as stars rose. Who? Mira asked. Dragons, it said. Humans. Them. It flicked a feeling toward the distant council worlds. Mira shook her head. Ruling is easy, she said. Watching is harder. Protecting is hardest. She looked up at the sky, where Earth glowed like a small bright coin. I died for one child, she said. I came back for many. That is enough. Ships sometimes passed near that quiet moon. Now crews would look out the window and see a small figure sitting under the stars, lights wrapped around her like a cloak, dragons sleeping near her feet. They would feel a shiver and look. Awesa whispered that she was a monster. Some whispered that she was a saint. Most agreed on one thing. In a galaxy full of weapons, black projects, and hungry warlords, the most dangerous being they had ever seen was still a human heart that refused to give up. Assignment for you 1. Choose 2 to 3 lines from part 3 that you feel are the best for a YouTube trailer or short reel shorts. Closing parenthesis. Examples : 2.1. double quotes. She stepped out into vacuum, and space wrapped around her like cold water. 2.3. Ruling is easy. Protecting is hardest. 4.5. In a galaxy full of weapons, the most dangerous being was still a human heart. 6.3. Write them in your own words with even simpler English, as if you are speaking directly to your audience in the trailer. 4.5. Decide: 6.1. Will part 3 be one long video? Or 2.3. Will you cut it into 2 smaller episodes? Tell me your plan, and I'll help you break this story into perfect YouTube script sections with hooks and pauses. 4. What you should learn next and why.